Namaskar. I welcome all of you to this poetry reading session organized by Setu Magazine. I thank Dr. Sunil Sharma for having given me this wonderful opportunity to connect to all of you through poetry. Friends, we are going through very difficult times during this global epidemic. We see deaths all around. People are losing faith, hope, confidence in each other. During such a time, all we need is acceptance, love, poetry. Well, I'm not suggesting that poetry is going to fix all the problems that the world is facing today, but poetry certainly is going to give a ray of hope for all of us. I will go with Matthew Arnold, who said at one point of time that at a time when human race will fail to get help from any other source, perhaps poetry is going to be our consolation and stay. With that spirit, I am going to read a couple of my poems for you. The poems which celebrate love, humanity, the poems which talk about compassion, empathy, acceptance. The first poem that I am going to read for you is from my poetry collection, The Other Voice. The title of the poem is Hand in Hand. What happened once, I saw a man, he was shedding tears, he was crying. I did not know that person. So what I did, I put my hand on his hand. And he stopped crying. He smiled. Human touch, it has some magic in it. When you are upset, when you are crying, if you get human touch, you get somebody's hand on your hand, then the pain is lessened. I wrote a poem. After that person started smiling, I came home and I wrote this poem, Hand in Hand. A man was sitting sad. I did not know him. I only knew the masquerading sorrow. I smiled at him. He did not know my smiles, only knew the sharing. I extended my hands. We did not know each other's hands, only knew walking hand in hand. I picked a handful of salt water. I did not know his tears, only knew thirst quenched, hearts drenched. This poem is the celebration of humanity and love. The next poem I am going to read for you is the title poem of my collection, Sukama and Other Poems. Sukama was a tribal Kond woman who was our domestic help during my childhood. Sukama was a subaltern woman. She did not understand any complexities of life. She was the one on whose lap me and my 6 sisters we grew up. One day Sukama died. And then I wrote this poem dedicating it to Sukama and people who are the real homemakers for us. She passed away. Sukama, Suka's mother, Shakuntala's daughter, mother. She was the Mother Earth, the virtual mother of her 6 sisters. In our love, perhaps she loved less her own daughters. One day we flew the nest, making her grope and forever brood. Today, Sukama died. When a poor taps my car window at the red lights of Connaught Place, I have a shudder of relief that I am not on the opposite side. The leitmotif of time, has it made me such esoteric? Then who reminds me time and again of Sukama, our childhood domestic help, our foster mother, the rural, poor, tribal Conned woman, illiterate, deprived, downtrodden, the subaltern, one among the crores that constitute real India. Sukama, the real homemaker in our suburban household. She would fight with our school teacher, disciplinarian mother, for being strict with us. Would not mind if my sisters, would urinate on her lap. Shy about the criss-cross tattoos on her rather pretty face, which her mother had itched to make her less beautiful, thus less desirable. She would swear about tales from her youth when many a men were engrossed to have just a glance of her. We were a foil set against her to depict her ugliness, her tattooed face. We felt so purified after we had disbursed our dirt on her. We felt so pretty when we hoisted straight across her ugliness. Her ease adorned her. Her culpability consecrated us. Her feebleness made us glimmer with health. Her inelegance made us reason we had wisdom. Her inarticulateness made us trust we were persuasive. Her poverty kept us lavish. We sharpened our personality, and her propelled our charms with her fragility and nodded in the imaginary world of our power. Today, we are sophisticated, articulate, we confront life with ease, like we did for years, without knowing that it was she in her ugly, sordid, squalid haunt who prayed for us day and night. Today, we pretend with decent planning for intelligence. We reschedule deceptions and call them a point. We are coping with the tough business called life, facing the predicament of survival, tearing apart the bonding between her and us. Villages have given way to cities. We have moved from innocence to experience. Her story is an incredible mosaic about a generation, our generation of the metropolis, the NRIs, ashamed of Sukama's poverty amid our chaotic urbanization, forgetting that Sukama had created a symphony of time and place. Eating a proper meal was an indulgence not meant for her, she felt, interposed between two worlds, her poor house and our luxurious apartment, contradicting, empathizing, appealing, opposing each other. Her dedication had no master plan. Her dream was only to watch us rising stars in a galaxy where the privileged disdain the sprawling slum. Sukama's silent death questions. Would human goodness silently triumph someday? Would we ever get over the fascination of our feigning melancholy and be like Sukama? Isn't it the conscientiousness of an unwitting bystander like me to tell her untold tale amid all those sagas of quick fix TV channels on yoga, beauty care, weight loss, and wealth gain? Isn't it my moral obligation to an unmindful posterity to tell Sukama's slumdog tale? Sukama is my folklore. Sukama is the subaltern woman. She taught me the language of love. The third poem I am going to read for you today is a poem from my collection, Zero Point. The title of the poem is Lord Jagannath, the god with half-done limbs. Lord Jagannath, you all might have seen the idol from Jagannath Puri His limbs are incomplete, like his hands are up to here, incomplete, his legs are incomplete. That stands for our acceptance of the differently abled, the physically challenged. Lord Jagannath has a dark skin. That stands for our acceptance of the dark, the black, without judging anybody, with empathy, with compassion, with love. The poem Lord Jagannath, the God with half done limbs. When my words are overcooked in the double tongued obscurity of the opaque heart, I wonder what is the need for grief or alarm, independence of the lack of sovereignty, the heavy golden jewelry, the saving accounts, the artificial hair of my neighboring beauty, the moon, the calendar on the table, my omega 3 tablets, love, lust, or even poetry. Mother, why doesn't he have complete limbs? Who left him like this, half done? Why is he black? Why are his eyes always swollen and unblinking? I search for answers in my intrepid, unfazed heart, nonchalant at the naked rooms. I think of children whom the world has deserted because they have half done limbs. The dark skinned who have a frozen time, I think of them. I ponder over their providence, their ancient limbs and face spinning into a papyrus. It's convergence, my son. It's his way of humanizing the mechanics of tolerance. The Lord of the universe, Lord Jagannath, without complete limbs, with an ugly face, ogling, unblinking eyes, and a dark skin. He is the charming, absorbing of all, the pious of all, the most accomplished, the most adorable, most alluring of all. Then I know it's the first light of creative contemplation. It's daybreak for ingenuity, breaking the parapets of opaque without orders from above. Friends, this is a passing phase. This too will pass. Once again, after the pandemic, we are going to see our beautiful planet Earth with all its glory, all its colors. Stay home, stay safe, spread love, happiness, acceptance of all. Thank you.